Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Tiebreaker Bonanza. Is that the word? I had this whole thing planned, and I can't think of what I was going to say now. But I think this was the first one that was played. Now, you may have noticed in the last video, there was in fact a three-way tie in Group B, and so we are going to resolve that now, where I'm just going to cast all three of them in one video. I think that's just kind of clean, you know what I mean? Plus, it means I don't have to reveal, like, who was in the tie breaks as well, so maybe there's, like, a little bit less spoilers or something. The first one here is going to be between Blue Boot and Kharak, and that's kind of nice because this is the one that I think is going to be the most of a toss-up, because I really don't know who's going to win this. And I don't know, mind you, I didn't check, so it's going to be a mystery, boys. Let's see here. So Blue going for scanned simmer fabrication, sure. As he moves out across the field with that production cruiser. Kharak, what's he going for? A second base runner. Whoa, dude! Alright, that's interesting. And he's going to start filling up the long distance base here. This is effectively a GVG, mind you. Obviously, there's kind of blaster and shenaniganry possibly involved in here, but probably not going to play much of an effect. So, it's possible, like, either one of these players has the choice, if they want to kind of throw this into a really big micro-based battle. Frankly, I'm not convinced either of these players would really want to do that, but you know. Actually, Kharak here going for a second production cruiser, so that's potentially problems for Blue. Kharak probably going to want to get Sandscream fabrication as soon as possible after this point. So once he gets up to 300 on that side, there we go. Yeah, I wonder what he's going for here. The second base, no. He was making a second base runner, wasn't he? I'm quite sure he was, but it seems like it has been cancelled. Turns out it's more like 2 salvagers into into RUs and then 2 on the long distance. Okay, so except for the non-base runner retirement here, it kind of looks just like a 2PC railgun player or something. Okay, that's interesting. Blue, as pretty typical, is getting Sandstorm Armor 1 before he actually even meets his opponent here, so he wants to do some damage here in the beginning. And Blue actually making another base runner now, but he cancels that as well. I don't even know. They're just playing with me at this point. I bet someone at one point, just to be funny, is gonna like queue up like 80 base runners and then cancel them, and then queue them up and cancel them. So I'm just like, what's happening? Anyway, base runner getting nibbled on over here, but the 2PC is out, and this gives Cal a good opportunity to see just how many Sandscreamers approximately there actually are on Blue's side of the field. Answer, a lot. Probably like 7, right? In fact, is that... Hey, look at that. I can count. I don't know why I thought that was so impressive. But yeah, the thing is, Cal obviously with the 2 production cruisers has much more production than his opponent, but we saw this in some other games, I think even against Blue Blue actually, if I'm not mistaken, that he has 2 production cruisers, but he doesn't double produce off of them, and so it's like he might as well just have 1. You can see he's doing that right now. He's not building anything here, right? If your opponent is, especially if he's got Sandscreamer armor, which looks like Cal actually is matched, I mean, you gotta be building dudes, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be just, like, sitting here on this. And Power Reserve 1, really bad move here, because you don't want to take the fight with your carrier. You don't want to play defensive, you want to, like, get out there and strike, you know what I mean? So, just keep building guys. That's what I would say, like, above anything else in this position. Assault Ship Fabrication coming out for Blue Blue, no tech choice yet for Cow, and I mean, that's gonna... I don't know, 2PC's not going to do much unless you can do some damage with it, so... Because, like, look at the Sandscreamer numbers here, it's like 8, 9. I mean, he's on 2 production cruiser, but he still doesn't have more Sandscreamers than his opponent. That's kind of, like, not good. You definitely want to have more than he does, so... Railgun Fabrication coming out for Kharak now. Oh, and you know another thing about Power Reserve 1 is that if you don't put the power into the carrier... Okay, there we go. He does see that. That's good, but he is actually going to lose a salvager for his slight, you know, misallocation right there. I'm trying to think, like, it's not a miss-micro, what is it? Misallocation? That sounds so stupid. Blue actually getting Sandscreamer Armor 2 now. Again, Sandscreamer numbers here are even, you know, like, amazingly, Blue is not actually losing in the numbers there. He actually has more upgrades, so he would win this fight. A little bit of bad focus fire, I guess, actually does lose him 1 Sandscreamer. And blue gonna start making armored units here. Has he got the defenses 1? He does not. Yeah, I mean, I think you should definitely get defenses 1 in this type of scenario. It's just because your armored units suddenly become so much more beefy, you know what I mean? Actually, railgun fabrication's on the way for him too. This looks very much like their group stage matches, doesn't it? You know? Anyway, like against the carrier, even one that's not being powered up with Power Reserve 2, which Calvin's Rouse is about to be, but even if he isn't powered up that much, I mean, like, the point defenses do so much more damage if you have armor 0 than if you have armor 1. Like, it's really noticeable. And then also, I'm looking at the wrong player. I was like, why can't I see Yeah, also armor 2 increases their hull integrity, but I think that's a little bit less impactful. I think the really big thing is just the armor. And he's got it now, actually, mind you. I noticed him taking that, obviously, so... I don't think he actually killed anything there, but he got pretty close, I guess. Oh, but this is some pretty good damage right here. And armor 2 is still finished here. Armor 1 still for Cal. Other thing is, if he migrates his carrier like this, he's gonna lose that main base economy, which is a big no-no. Oh, and this is also a big no-no. This assault railgun here just gonna kind of get chewed up by these sandstormers. Worth it to lose however many he needs to lose for this, unless it's like all of them maybe. Ah, but you see this sandstormer move over here? This is something that I actually kind of worried he was gonna do as well. And the problem here, of course, is that when you're blue in this scenario, what you do now is power down the mobility support, power up the weapons, and then you can push in with the assault ships now because you know that the sandstormers are not there once you see them down at your base. And I mean, you'll lose units, you know, but not nearly as fast. Like, these sandstormers will drop like flies, and your assault ships won't. And your opponent will clear out like half your eco, you'll clear all of his eco, and that should be game from there. Looks like blue not even interested. He's just gonna try to win with like a railgun siege down here, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, you're definitely gonna want to power up those close combat weapons and then do what you will. You could even like retire these guys, I guess, because they're obviously not gonna be worth much to you. But blue, just gotta power up those weapons now. Assault railguns here actually getting carrier blocked in a really bad way, but also they're just charging out there against these heavies. It's not going to go well. And this Gaussian carrier thinks he can step on him, but he definitely cannot. Blue has powered up the weapons properly, so you can see what I'm talking about now. You'll see these sandstormers starting to drop fairly quickly, and they are going to kill salvagers, but not that many. Up in the north, this carrier is getting lower and lower. He does not have the power to move out like this, and I think that should be obvious to see. He's gonna back up now with power 2 into the engines. Heavies come out for him, that's good. That's what he needs, but there's more from blue, obviously. And I think blue actually maybe just ignores them and wins, but it's probably safer to do this. And he definitely wins this way, right? And yeah, pretty predictably the sandstormers start coming back home. I've made that mistake so many times. It's really unfortunate when that happens. That if there's any kind of aggression at your base, your sandstormers will not match him. So if your sandstormers can protect you at your base, you need to keep them there. If they can't, you can move them out because obviously, like, you don't need them back home. But if they can, you really need to have them there, you know, being ready to protect you. The Couch Mound is going to go down. So that is our first tiebreak match going the way of Blue Boo. And I think he will be pleased. Pleased indeed. Like I said, that was the biggest, like, coin flippy one, I guess. That's kind of a bad term for it, but, you know. The one I wasn't sure about the most, you know what I'm saying? You know, the worst thing that can happen when you're a tournament organizer is that there's tie breaks and they just tie again. Because that can happen. Kawashima versus Rovi gonna come down here. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, what happened... Oh, I'm recording, right? Okay, good. Yes, that would have been sad. I believe what happened in their proper group stage match here, if I'm not mistaken. Although, you know, as the good historian that I am, I'm just not going to fact check myself at all here. But I believe it was that Roby really should have won both games, but he just sort of threw one of them, and they ended up tying, right? I actually just check this here. Roby Kaushima 1-1. Yeah. Yeah. See, I believe he kind of like threw one of his games on accident, right? Maps are chosen by RNG, by the way, so this is why they are as they are. But anyway. So I really think Roby ought to take this serious here. I mean, I think he's going to do fine just so long as he like keeps it cool this time. You know what I'm saying? And he would really like to win this one. Then obviously, if he loses this one, things are like bad, right? Because Blue is probably going to win versus Kaushima, and then you get all kinds of like weird stuff going on. If he wins this one, then it's between him and Blue as to like who's going to advance out of the group stage in the upper bracket. And that's the situation Roby wants to be in, obviously. Otherwise, it's going to be between him and Blue, like who is, or how do I say? By the way, that base runner taking forever to choose to finally shoot at its target, but if not, it's going to basically be like you have a chance to not get immediately knocked out here, but you can't even advance unless we do another round of tiebreakers. So definitely wants to take this one. Although, I mean, I guess it's just like you want to win every game that you play, obviously. Probably. Looks like it's 4 LAVs, 3 LAVs I can count, into 2 more long distance miners. And the Assault Pack Tech going to come out as well. Sandskimmer Fabrication coming down now for Kaushima, who does have a second production cruiser nearly finished here. These LAVs could do some poke damage onto the, the base runner, but Roby playing his Coalition, mind you. I think he was Soban normally instead, but now he's Coalition. Looks like he wants to set up a turret here on the second. And that is so annoying when people do this to you, so Kaushima maybe going to be a little bit triggered here. LAV Assault Pack on the way here, and if I were Roby, I'd want to get a Sport Cruiser at this point, but we'll see. Artifact pickup here now by Kaushima. Roby can deny this. I definitely would like to see him do that. It looks like he will. Turret is getting set up now for Roby. Get a turret up, but don't whether or not it's combat ready. I mean, don't worry if it's combat ready or not. Like, that's fine. You know, we don't really need it to like fight or anything. Turret choosing to attack the Salvager, unfortunately, for Roby. I think that's going to maybe cost it its life here. Well, not yet. And so this turret being incredibly effective at just stalling for time, really. Base runner goes down. Roby's got all that information about the fact that there are 2 production cruisers up here. In fact, that production cruiser getting really low, but it's obviously going to reheal. So he gets all that information. He knows about the double production cruiser. He's getting railgun fabrication already, which is exactly what he needs to do to be ready for this. Support cruiser's on the way. He's just not even going to care. He's just going to expand. And I think Roby has a really clean game from here. And he sniped the base runner. He's delayed so much time with that turret there, and it was not even an economic failure because he got much more damage in there than he lost. If you look at the units lost tab here, one of these is a base runner for 250, so it's like 5 Sandskimmers he killed, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's looking golden here. Sport Cruiser finishing now. He's going to move up onto his second base there, and railguns are already on the way. Actually, I would maybe try to like shadow your opponent's army a little closer and see what he's got, because in this case you'd know it was mostly Sandskimmers, and that's most of what you want to be getting too. Also, obviously, always a good idea to cancel one of... to not do that. To cancel all these trash that are being queued up here and then get the production upgrade, obviously. But yeah. You don't want to run away from this. You got the boost. Use the boost. Okay, he used the boost. He's gonna be safe. But that's a little close for comfort there. Definitely, you don't want to let those Sandskimmers run on top of you like that. Turret actually trying to get set up in a bit of an ambitious position right here. But it will. The Sandskimmers back away, give him some room there because the LAVs were in the hood. And if they push in now, obviously that turret is going to cause them some grief. So Kaushima is going to back away with his 2 production cruisers and see what else he can do. And missile ship fabrication coming out. Alright. I mean, maybe he just really doesn't like that probe, but I don't know, dude. That seems a little questionable at best. Turret gonna claim some victims here, though. Amazingly, that guy doesn't actually die to the turret. Production upgrade finally finishing now for Roby. Although he is fleet capped. AV Fab on the way for him, actually. Don't think he needs it. I would rather just, well, okay, it's not a bad move. I'm reading too much into things once again. Because what he could do, right? But I mean, it's kind of one of these like, well, I'm the omnipotent caster. I can tell there's nothing coming out for his opponent. Oh, he has rail tech. How long has he had that? See this? Yeah, okay. So AV makes sense. It's just I was thinking he can just make more LAVs if he really wants to. And kind of, get back there, boys. You are needed on the front line. Okay, he's gonna be there on time. In fact, he's going to be there on time to punish like Mega, which is weird because he totally made a mistake just then. Assault Railgun's going to try to get in position, but he's got rails already, so he doesn't really need to worry about that either. Apparently, Refinery Mode went down. I didn't really catch that. Honor Guard Cruiser Tech coming out. That's really ambitious for Cao Schmao. I really doubt he's going to have time to get that. But yeah, well, we'll see. The thing is, Roby is just like suddenly stopped playing, and so he's not actually building anything now. Which I don't really approve of. This is what I was talking about throwing. Okay, yeah, he's making some rails now, as well as getting anti-air tech blind. Maybe not a bad idea. Although, yeah, I don't think he saw those assault railguns. So I mean, that's perhaps fine. Because obviously, what I would say is that if he knows there's rails out, you usually don't need anti-air. No, this is probably okay though, right? Because he doesn't know about these railguns, and also the way Cao Schmao is going for missile ship fabrication here makes it really hard to tell that there's like not an air transition coming, because it's like there's no units. Maybe he's going for air here, and in fact he's just going for missile ships for some reasons. But you know, it's good. Keeps you safe. This could be a pretty nasty backstab here from Roby. He's come flying into the back line here. Good use of that probe to kill off one of those assault railguns. Roby gonna come in here and he's just gonna absolutely whack the snot out of his production cruiser if he goes for it. Which I definitely would. Salvagers are good to kill too here, but I mean you can definitely kill a production cruiser if you want to. That would have been better, I think. Oh, what the... I remember this now. Yeah, Roby told me something about this. That this was happening in this match. Yeah, it's just a stupid bug with Tight End Passage. You know, this was my favorite map, right? Oh, I love it so much. This will happen sometimes. I don't know what exactly is going on, but the units are like confused and they start getting like stuck back. There's nothing you can do. Like they're just wasted units now. Which is really problematic. Yeah, they'll just like slowly slide down the cliff like further and further and further as time goes on. I really don't know why this happens. It's really tricky though, right? Because yeah, like look, he gives them the order to retire, but they're still just like sliding down. It's really tricky though because they still take up fleet capacity, right? And like you can't get them back. Like you can't make them not be here. You can't scuttle them. You can't retire them. And there's nothing you can do. So they'll just be there until like the end of time. And I don't think they're even like visible from other units. So like you can't even attack them really. It's just it's a whole mess. Whoa! Missiles going into space there. Heresy, right? This is a little risky. Oh my gosh, that really made me a little nervous, but it didn't end up happening. You know what I was looking at there, though, right? Because like all those LEVs like funneled into this like tiny little column there, and the missile ship could have just been like boom. That's one big problem if you use the boost at people. That often happens. You need to make sure you split up if you're against like missile ships like that, because they'll just tear you to shreds. I mean that's like nasty stuff. I was playing a 3v3 like yesterday, maybe this morning. I can't remember where. Someone like had a huge stream of LEVs coming at me, and just like 2 missile batteries landed on them. They all blew up. It's terrible. You really gotta watch out for those anti-air units' abilities like that. It can be nasty. It's interesting that this ability is called the direct fire barrage, but its picture is actually about indirect fire, and it can shoot through mountains. I don't know. Well, it looks like Roby's probably expanded onto 3 base here, but I feel like he should have won by now. I kind of stopped paying attention and expecting the game to be over, but it's like it's not. And I don't really know why. I mean, he had such a momentum built up there, and now he's just sort of like chilling. He's doing fine still because he's obviously on more bases than his opponent. Because Kao Shmao, as typical, for some reason pulling this carry out into the middle, like he's spending a lot of time out in the middle of the map here doing nothing really. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't really understand exactly what he's been going for so far. Just seems like he's just not building units, you know what I mean? Which is something I've seen from Roby before. Like, I think that's how he threw the game in the group stage proper with Kao Shmao. He just kind of like stopped building units, you know what I mean? So, and then just didn't really do a whole lot. This is going to be really good for him, though. Again, I would like to see him go for the production cruiser, but whatever he ends up taking here, it's going to be good. This time, vehicle damage 1 is finished before he gets in there, too, so it's going to be even a little faster. Looks like he's going for salves still, but I mean, that's going to be all of these salvagers dead, so... It is going to be a little painful. And it looks like maybe he's going to kill his production cruiser, too. He is. There was even another unit coming out there, an assault ship. You see like the wreckage of it right there, but of course if units are coming out of a production unit when it dies, they don't come out, they just die. So can be denied that as well. He is actually ready to pop the 3rd base, but he should really just send these guys back onto the main. I mean, I don't know, I feel like Roby should have this, but he's just sort of taking so much time about it. He's allowing his opponent to get a lot of stuff that he really just shouldn't get. Like, honor guard cruisers, like, they should not even be on the queue right now. These guys, meanwhile, going on a real adventure, and they're getting further and further away. All the railguns just went down. I kind of missed that. I was too busy focusing on these salvagers here, having their, like, voyage. I mean, I don't know about the physics of this. Whoa. I don't know, dude. It's a little weird. Whoa! I'm not even watching the game, like, I'm just so interested in this salvager. Sorry, I'll get back to it. Well, nothing's really changed, so I'm gonna get back to the salvager. He's just still moonwalking. I mean, he's gonna get all the way to the end of the map at some point. I wonder what happens when he gets there. I've actually never seen it. Honor Guard is out. Again, I'm not really sure how, but it is. But amazingly, this is okay for Roby. It does dunk 2 railguns right there. Really, the important thing is that it doesn't get all these LAVs, which are standing still, almost in range of it on the low ground. But okay, they get up. Like, that's just asking for it. Like, no armor upgrades. You're on the low ground, standing still. Like, you're just gonna get destroyed, dude. But anyway, powers are 5 on the way for Roby now. His carrier is just getting ridiculous at this point. And carriers, of course, don't really give a crap what honor guard cruisers are doing to them. Like, they just have so much health, and the honor guard cruisers do not do a whole lot of damage. It is 400. It's much more than any railgun, but it's not very high fire rate. So honor guard goes down to these rails here. Carrier getting hooned on now. It's at like half health. So let's see how far the salvager can get before his opponent dies. Oh, it's getting low now. Come on, you can make it! No, you can't make it. And Cao Shmao goes down with the cruise missile launching at his dead corpse. That's nice as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. Roby's play here is a little strange. Like, he waits so long, like, allows his opponent to get a whole lot of stuff built up there, but he figures it out in the end. So, that's going to be a 1-0 for him. Okay, so Cao Shmao is definitely out then. He's lost both of his tiebreaker games here. So that means that whoever wins this next one is going to be the winner of Group Stage B in second anyway. We know Jaskar obviously came out on top there. It's tight end passage, everyone's favorite. Again, this is chosen by RNG, I swear. Didn't have anything to do with this. And you know what's interesting? It's almost like the same matchup, right? Because we switched from Galzian to Conf and then from Coalition to Soban, but irregardless. This one, I think Roby I'll tap. But remember, this is the series that didn't get played, right? I think... I think... Because when the round didn't get played between Roby and Blue Boo, we didn't call it a forfeit for either player because actually no one really had managed to schedule it, so it was a tie. I think if Roby had played that series, he would have won and the tiebreakers would have been irrelevant. That's my theory. Alright. And I think that means he's going to win this too, but that basically means what's happened is that he set this into like a best of one, you know what I mean, instead of best of two, which is kind of scary. Like, no one wants to be in that position, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll check it out. Let's see what happens. It's going to be 4 up? What? That's highly unusual. I mean, this is a Sport Cruiser first build, obviously, but it's not one that we tend to see. 4 up basically just means you don't make any salvagers. You just go straight into a Sport Cruiser and then you do a thing. Expand onto your next base there, but I don't know. I don't know what the point is. At any rate, we do see people on RUs first, so I guess it's probably going to be like a tech rush of some kind as well. But yeah, this is highly odd. Blue Boo, by the way, coming in perfect way to punish this is just go in with a bunch of sand skimmers. I'm worried he's going to kind of back away again like he tends to do once he sees the opponent. But he should just charge in there. The amount of damage he can get on the Sport Cruiser against a Soban opponent who can't heal his starting Sport Cruiser, it could be huge. That's what I really want to see here. Sand Skimmer's on the perfect angle here. Just gotta come in there. Just gotta get in there. Get in there now! Get in there! No, 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 not the... No, you wanna go that way. You wanna go that way. This way. This way. Okay, you see the carry. Go, go, back. Yes! Yes! Bit of ALM spam comes out here too. Not like Roby needs the fleet cap right now. So that's a bit of a waste of resources, but that's alright. This is the problem with going 4 up, by the way, is like, look, AV fabrication's finished, but he can't get the production upgrade or the heavy vehicles yet, so I mean, you don't really gain anything by it. Like, you don't get any units out faster. Oh, and don't fight the LAVs, let's go. No, no. No, that's alright. That's alright, that's alright. It's fine. It's fine. Heavy vehicles, armor 1 coming out, a bunch of LAVs, yeah. The window's closed at this point. Blue can't really get in there and do much damage now because the AVs are going to get into that position. At least they should be able to. Whether or not they actually will, that's, I guess, kind of another question, but... Oh, Blue, what are you... Whoa, you got to get out of there. This is actually a big problem that can happen to you. AVs are faster than production cruisers, so, like... If he just chases this thing down... Assault Ship Fab's on the way, alright. Power in the logistics there, power 2 in the logistics. This thing's actually pretty speedy. Looks like Roby's gonna break up the attack. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just kept chasing. But yeah, the production cruise is gonna get away. But that was a little close for comfort, man. Like, you gotta be careful with that. Oh yeah, look, Sandskimmer's finally realized where they should have been already, but it's too late, right? I mean, there's AVs here. They can smoke if they need to. There's an ALN. Yeah, it's over. Soul Chip pop as well, and you gotta remember in vanilla with no upgrades, Soul Chips will just they'll beat the snot out of AVs up here. And 5 damage per shot, you do the math, that's a lot of shots to kill one of these guys, and their fire rate is not all that good. Regular fabrication on the way for Roby, that's good, that's what he needs. Armor defense is coming out. I don't know, I mean, I really feel like Roby totally just left himself open to be just, like, destroyed there. But he didn't get destroyed. And that probably means that he's still ahead here. I mean, he's on 2 bases. His opponent's obviously not going to do any damage to him. A lot of Sandskin is going to get hemorrhaged right here. Armor 2 is trying to finish him with... What the heck? But it's okay, it doesn't matter. AVs are still the counter unit here. Railguns are coming out. That's going to counter the armored units nicely. There's no air tech on the way. It's going to be rails instead. And so, I don't know. This is just looking really good for Roby. These AVs are pretty nasty looking dudes. I think what Roby does now, I think the play here has got to be to like go after your opponent's eco and just kind of ignore these guys. Maybe even put down like a smoke, you know, and just be like, dude, don't shoot at me, and then just like head out over here and see what happens. Kind of seems to be like what he's going for here. But blue, man, you had such a window, and then the typical thing for me is that when I see that I've got that window to do damage, I back away with the production cruiser and play eco after that, which is a lot safer, because you never end up in this situation where like you've left your production cruiser out in mid trying to do damage to eco, but you haven't got anything done, and now your opponent's on 2 base and you're not, right? You won't have that problem if you back away with the production cruiser to leave that army out there, and it's... Oh, and you also won't have to worry about like the danger of possibly, you know, losing. No, you want to keep going. So the thing about AVs, is that they're so tanky, especially in vanilla, that it's better actually just run these guys in there and like allow them to die, but see how much damage they can get done before they do, than it is to back away from a fight like this. Because like these things are cheap. You don't really need them really for anything. Like he doesn't have any sand skimmers on the board. If he does, you can just get a couple of AVs, and with the smoke, they're going to be able to like block you off and everything. You know, just let these guys die. Just like run them straight in there. Just see how much damage you can do to that eco, and then be like, yeah, remember that rescue mission? It's fake. Just see you guys later, and then just leave them to die. That's actually honestly a lot better than backing away in this scenario. Oh well, Roby gonna get another support cruiser that puts him on 3 base now. Salvagers getting produced. Power reserves coming up. Not sure exactly what for, honestly, but missile battery fabrication too. That's actually maybe not a bad move. I mean, you do see your opponent's assault ship tech. Might be good to try and counter that. But yeah, I mean, I really think, you know, in this kind of scenario, I've talked about it before, when you're ahead this far in eco, you rail spam, and the rail spam leads you to victory. And that's honestly, I think, a really valid strategy for Roby. Just make a whole bunch of railguns, Saban rails too, they're even better at this. Like, this is like the perfect faction to be in this scenario with. Just spam rails, push on to victory. It should be pretty much as clear cut as that. And that'd be nice for me too, because then it'd be a little faster as well. Although, I love casting. Powers are 3 on the way now for Roby again. Not exactly sure what for, like ALMs maybe, but it seems like kind of a dumb reason to get powers up. He's on high ground here with Sylvan Rails. I mean, like, this is gonna go much better for blue than I expected it would. No, okay, he is gonna... They trade evenly at least, but that's just because of some kind of bad focus fire at the onset of that fight there. But the thing is, trading evenly is trading very good for blue, because obviously he's got a lot more money. So click R, and then click T, and just click T a whole bunch of times until everything goes gray, and then stop clicking T, and you'll basically win. Siege Cruiser Fabrication coming out for blue, kind of Siege. Nasty unit, but there's... Well, I mean, I was about to say there's no time, but based on the way Roby's been playing so far, maybe he is going to give his opponent time to get that out. I mean, you just press R, and then just press T a bunch of times. I'm telling you, that's like the pro strat for playing Soban. It's just hit R and T over and over again. I'm telling you. It is T, isn't it, by the way? I'm kind of worried now that it's actually Y. No, it's gotta be T. I don't use the, I don't use the whatchamacallits too much, the keyboard shortcuts. I know EE is for Sandscammer, I use that a lot, right? And like LAV too, probably. I think it's RT for railguns. Pretty sure anyway. Yeah, Harvester 4 on the way, but he's allowed his opponent to get siege cruiser fabrication and set up on 2 bases, and potentially now get up onto 3 maybe. Which he shouldn't have. He really should not have. Like, this game should be over already. And I'm a little worried too, just like, maybe Roby's actually gonna choke this one, but I can't imagine he would, right? Microwave removers coming out here, which, you know, like, that's fine if you're playing 3v3, I guess. The thing is, in 3v3, this often happens, that if you get, like, wipe your opponent's army, just, like, build up armies and then take them out together or something. Whereas if you just push in immediately, maybe there's, like, a counterattack ready to, like, destroy you or something. It's not true in 1v1. Like, if you destroy your opponent's army, there's nothing back at home. Like, just kill them, you know what I mean? But, gonna launch it at the eco, yeah, that's definitely 3v3 mentality right there. In 1v1, I mean, you gotta be looking for power plays against your opponent's, like, your opponent's army, and then just push in and kill him, you know what I mean? Like, this game should really be over by now. ALM's getting powered up quite a lot here. Rails are ready, I mean, they're in position to just move in. And yet they remain on the high ground. These ALMs are going to be super annoying, to be fair. And after he gets another extraction here, you can take the power out of range, put him into ALMs and have like power 5 ALMs out, which is super annoying. It's just unreal how annoying those things get. Since because it's caught in the barrage, so it does die. Well, I mean, it's going to be caught in stunlock anyway. It looks like Roby cannot throw this one. I think. Yeah, power 5s and ALMs here. So if you could stunlock a carrier, they'd be doing it. The deploy range is pretty big. I think he could probably deploy like out to this radius now at this point. Is this getting vision with that ALM there? Is it firing 2 shots, or am I just crazy? It is. Wow. Micro emitter gets down in that location too, railgun spamming in. And blue is going to go down, and so our winner of the Tiebreaker series is going to be Roby. With a nice 2-0, blue coming 1-1, Couch now 0-2. That means that obviously blue is going to be on the top of the lower bracket for Group B, but Roby is going to be the one advancing up to the upper bracket. I hope you guys enjoyed the casting as always. It is a lot of fun to do, even if sometimes I make jokes that it's not. No, I actually do really enjoy this. I hope you enjoy it too, otherwise I'm just kind of wasting my time, I suppose. No, it's not true! But I'll see you guys next time.